Alright, so we got kind of a fun video today, guys. This is not going to be an MLB The Show video. Today, we're going to be talking about the All-Star Game for 2019. It is June 3rd at the time I'm recording this video, so the All-Star Game is just a little bit over a month away. It's crazy to think that we're actually almost to that point in time where the All-Star break is going to be upon the baseball season, because it is moving fast. It feels like opening day was just like a couple days ago. But either way, I am going to be going to the All-Star Game again this year. I don't know if I'm going to be going with MLB The Show again, because I went with them last year. They flew me out and everything, and it was an awesome experience. I can't wait to go back. I don't know if I'm going to be going back with them or if I'm just going to go myself, but either way, I am 100% going to the All-Star Game this year, the home run derby, the whole deal. Actually, I think I should change what I'm wearing for this video. Give me 1 second. I think I gotta go ahead and throw on the old Cougs 46 American League All-Star jersey with the Angels logo right here. Oh man, this was such a sweet thing they did, bro. Thank you, MLB The Show. This was awesome. I think this goes a little bit better with the video. I think this kind of fits what we're doing a little bit more than just a gray t-shirt. But anyway, what are we doing today? Well, today I am going to go ahead and submit my first ballot, my first set of votes for the All-Star Game voting. Gonna be going ahead and showing you guys who I think is deserving of a spot right now, who I'm gonna be voting for. I did this last year as well, where I did a ballot pretty much right when the ballot came out, and then I did another ballot right before the All-Star Game, just to kind of see how picks have changed, if anybody kind of started streaking in that next month to give them a spot over somebody else, and I find it really, really interesting. So that's what we're going to do today. We're here on the All-Star ballot for voting. I'll leave a link to this in the description, by the way, but you can just go to MLB.com and you can find it pretty easily. But either way, I'll leave the link down there, and right here is where you're able to vote. You're able to vote on all of these different players for all the different positions. The only thing you don't vote on is pitchers, but you do vote on like DH for the American League, so you can make sure you choose another hitter if you didn't see the guy in there you wanted. But we're gonna go ahead and get it started. Since the All-Star Game is going to be in Cleveland this year at an American League park, we're gonna start it off with the visitors. We're gonna do the entire National League All-Star picks, and then we'll go ahead and do all of the American League picks. So let's go ahead and get it started with first base. Now, to me, as of right now, this is a fairly easy pick. You know, there's a couple guys that are having good years, like Freddie Freeman is doing pretty well this year. He's got an average above 300 with a 953 OPS. Anthony Rizzo is definitely having a better year than he was last year, but overall, man, I mean, Josh Bell is just way too good right now, man. Hitting over 330 with 18 bombs and OPS almost to 1100. His month of May was honestly ridiculous. So Josh Bell right now is easily my vote as the starting first baseman for the National League from the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right, so now moving over to second base. Once again, there's a couple guys you could go with right here. Cesar Hernandez from the Philadelphia Phillies. Shelfie's pick, almost guaranteed right there. Having a really good year with a 290 average, 810 OPS. A couple of the guys are playing pretty well. I think I'm going to go with Mike Moustakas, though. If you look at these four stats right here, the OPS, the RBI, home run, and average, Moustakas has Cesar Hernandez beat in 3 out of the 4, and you know, that power at second base isn't always the most common thing. I know Moustakas used to be a third baseman, but I think with what Moustakas is bringing to the table with Christian Yelich in that lineup, I think that makes him a pretty valuable piece. So I'm going to go ahead and put Mike Moustakas as my second base. But once again, it may change before the All-Star Game happens when we do the next go-around of these. So far, we've got Josh Bell and Mike Moustakas from the NL. Over at third base, this one's pretty easy for me. Eduardo Escobar is having a pretty strong year. Some other guys are doing pretty well. Anthony Rendon. I feel bad for Anthony Rendon, man. He's a hands down the most underrated player in the MLB. I don't think it's even close. Everybody forgets about Anthony Rendon. The problem is every year he just gets overshadowed by another National League third baseman, one of the best players in baseball, Nolan Arenado, man. 345 average, 16 bombs, over 50 RBIs already with an OPS over 1,000. You can talk all you want about the Coors Field effect. Nolan Arenado is going to be a beast no matter where you put him, and with the glove he brings to the table defensively, he's just way too good at third base. So he is my pick for the third base position for the NL. Moving over to shortstop, once again, I feel like every category or every position really has a couple guys you could choose from. Trevor Story's having a really strong year, an OPS over a 900 with 15 home runs. Dansby Swanson is having, I think, probably his breakout breakout year right now, 12 home runs with an 815 OPS. But for me right now, I think the best shortstop in the National League is Javier Baez. Over a 300 average with 14 home runs, 918 OPS, killing it for the Cubs right now. Javi Baez, El Mago, still putting together a good season just like he did last year. He's my shortstop right now, I think. Catcher was a little bit more difficult for me. Jorge Alfaro actually is having a pretty strong year, a little bit under the radar, but that's because he plays for the Miami Marlins, and they're not really getting a lot of attention right now. Yasmani Grandal, 12 home runs, 30 RBIs with an OPS over 900 with an average almost up to 280. Carson Kelly, 269 average. You know, a lot of these catchers are hitting around the same type of numbers, but I think the one that stands out the most to me right now is Wilson Contreras, another Cubs pick right here. 291 average with 13 home runs and 33 RBIs. He's hitting for power, he's hitting for contact, and he's got that 962 OPS. I like Wilson Contreras right now. He is my catcher for the National League. All right, now we got a fun one. We've got the outfield. I like choosing the outfield because they don't break it down by left, center, and right, because a lot of outfielders can play all three different positions. So you just get to choose pretty much the three outfielders that you like the best. And obviously the first pick, I think the MVP of the entire league, not just the National League right now. I think the MVP of the entire MLB, Cody Bellinger, already up to 20 home runs with an 1100, almost 1200 OPS, hitting 376. Absolutely, Cody Bellinger is an all-star this year. Another no-brainer pick. You scroll all the way down to why Christian Yelich, 313 average, the reigning NL MVP, 49 RBIs with 22 home runs and 1144 OPS. And then the third pick, you could go in so many different directions right here. You could go with Juan Soto with a 293 average with a 926 OPS. He's doing really well. David Peralta's hitting over 300 with 30 RBIs. Andrew McCutchen has 10 home runs and 29 RBIs. I know a lot of people aren't really going to pick McCutchen, but I think McCutchen's playing a lot better than people actually realize. And once again, there's a bunch of different guys you could go with. David Dahl's hitting 331, and this one might be a little bit controversial, but you know, I think I gotta do it. I think my third pick as of right now is Jock Peterson. I really like what Jock Peterson is doing this year. I think he's kind of found his place. I feel like in the last couple of years, he's been kind of, you know, an outfielder, but he hasn't really been looked at as kind of like a star player or anything like that. I think he's really turning the page and having a strong year for the Dodgers. I mean, 18 home runs with an OPS over 1,000, a 272 average. I think he's doing really well this year. I just really like the way he's playing. So I'm going to go Jock Peterson as my other outfielder, and that's going to be two Dodgers in the outfield for the National League. And I think that is it, because the National League isn't going to have a designated hitter. You don't choose pitchers. So boom, that's my National League picks, guys. We got Josh Bell at first, Mike Moustakas at second, Nolan Arenado at third base, Javier Baez at short, Wilson Contreras behind the dish with an outfielder of Christian Yelich, Cody Bellinger, and Jock Peterson. All right, so now that means it is time to go after the American League. So the American League, once again, we're going to start it off for first base. And this one's going to be kind of an interesting pick. There's not really one that extremely stands out to me. There is one guy who I think is, like, you know, the best, but it's not by like a huge margin. It's not like Cody Bellinger versus, you know, some of the other outfielders. It's not that big. The guy I'm going with for first base for the American League is going to be Carlos Santana, a 915 OPS right now. He's just killing it at first base. I really like what he's doing. A 286 average with 11 home runs. I think he's having a pretty solid year, so I'm going to go ahead and throw him as my first baseman for the AL. All right, second base. This one's going to be kind of funny. There's a couple options here so far. Michael Chavis from the Boston Red Sox, probably a Rookie of the Year candidate right now for the American League. You've also got Tommy La Stella from the Angels with an 880 OPS, 12 home runs, and an average over 300. I don't know where the power from Tommy La Stella came from, but I'll take it as an Angels fan. DJ LeMahieu, probably one of the MVPs for the Yankees so far this season, hitting 311 with an 811 OPS. Brandon Lowe, 36 RBIs with an 855 OPS. Whit Merrifield, almost hitting 300 with 28 RBIs. I know some people aren't going to like this, but I got to go with my boy Tommy La Stella, man. I know some people are going to think that's a biased pick, but I really think Tommy La Stella is killing it, man. An average over 300 with that many home runs, that power surge, and he's able to get on base and play the field. I like Tommy La Stella, dude. I really think he's having a good year, and you know, I don't think a lot of people are going to vote for him just because I'm not familiar with his name, but I love you, Tommy La Stella. Keep doing you. You're my pick right now. All right, third base. I know I've said this for probably every position. There's a couple guys you could go with right here, but there really is, man. Another angel you could possibly pick is David Fletcher, 322 average with 22 RBIs right here. Yohan Moncada hitting 283 with 10 home runs on the season. Hunter Dozier with a 314 average with an OPS almost at 1,000. Matt Chapman with 35 RBIs and 914 OPS. Rafael Devers hitting over 300. I would love to pick David Fletcher, but personally, I think the guy I'm going to go with right now, I look at third base as a very hitting-heavy position. Obviously, you want to have a good glove and everything like that, but I think if you can really put together strong offensive numbers, that's a lot for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Hunter Dozier. I like his power right now. I like what he's doing at the plate. He's hitting for power and contact with that 314 average. Yes, you could say similar things about Matt Chapman, 16 home runs, more RBIs. His OPS is a little bit lower, but he's also got that stellar glove. You could really make a case for both of these guys. It's kind of a toss-up, but for me, I got to go ahead and go with Hunter Dozier from the Kansas City Royals. I'm going to go ahead and put him as my third base pick for the AL. I know that's going to make some people mad, and you're going to think it's because of my Oakland A's bias. It's really not. I had Matt Chapman as a dark horse MVP going into the year, but I think I like Hunter Dozier. I like what he's doing right now, man. All right, shortstop. We got Tim Anderson, who's got a 330 average with an 870 OPS. Xander Bogaerts, man. I don't really think a lot of people are realizing the type of season that Xander Bogaerts is putting together. 936 OPS with 12 home runs and 39 RBIs. The dude's having a really, really strong year. You also got Jorge Polanco with a 989 OPS, 30 RBIs on the season, hitting almost 340. Gleyber Torres, dude, if the All-Star game was against the Orioles, hell yeah, Gleyber Torres would be on the field and he'd be the best player there. I think the guy I'm going to go with, though, is Jorge Polanco. That 338 average is just really good right now. I like what that just screams like, you know, the type of shortstop that I want. Able to get on base, able to hit for a little bit of pop and, you know, have a middle of the order type of bat, but also be able to do what you got to do on the field. Jorge Polanco, for me, is the shortstop at the moment in the American League. Catcher, this one's going to be fun. This one, I guess this one's a little bit more out in front than anything else. For me, it's Gary Sanchez. 18 home runs, 35 RBIs with that huge OPS. Dude's hitting the hell out of the ball right now. Definitely proven a lot of people wrong from how he performed last year. The average is up at 267, which is good for him. Gary Sanchez killing it. He's my catcher right now. I don't really see a guy that really gives him like an extreme run for his money. You could, you know, make cases for guys, but I think Gary Sanchez for me right now is the catcher in the AL. All right, so now we have the outfield. So, of course, you could call this biased. I just think he's the best player in the world. Obviously, Mike Trout is going to get the first pick. The second pick for me is going to be George Springer, 17 home runs with an OPS over 1,000, hitting over 300. Pretty good right there. And the third pick could go in a lot of different directions. You could have Josh Reddick, who's hitting over 300. You could have another guy from the Houston Astros. Where is he? Michael Brantley, 329 with 37 RBIs, a 918 OPS. Shin-Soo Choo hitting over 300. Joey Gallo, the 17 home runs and 41 RBIs that he's putting together with the bat is just really, really nice. Trey Mancini, one of the shining spots from the Baltimore Orioles. But I think my third outfielder, guys, is going to go ahead and go to Austin Meadows. 357 average right now, an OPS over 1,000 with 37 RBIs. He's hitting the hell out of the ball. I love Joey Gallo, man. I want to give a pick to Joey Gallo. I wish I could put Joey Gallo for my designated hitter. I just think Austin Meadows overall is having a little bit of a better start to the year. If I was voting for MVP right now, I'd probably vote for Austin Meadows over Joey Gallo, so that's kind of the line of thinking that I'm going in. So Austin Meadows is my vote right now. Joey Gallo could definitely get that spot going into the second half of this vote, but I'm gonna go with Austin Meadows, George Springer, and Mike Trout in my outfield. And now that just leaves the DH position. We got a couple guys in here that could, make a run for it. Avisail Garcia, 301 average with 25 RBIs. JD Martinez, probably the best hitter in baseball last year, 32 RBIs, 898 OPS. They even got Ohtani in here because he's not pitching this year. Stanton's been hurt. Rowdy's had that little stretch where he was killing it. Daniel Vogelbach just, hitting the hell out of the ball. But I think this one for me is Hunter Pence. I don't know what happened with Hunter Pence, where it came from, but this man, Hunter Pence, all of a sudden, I don't know if it was a change of scenery or what, but that 303 average with those 11 home runs and that high OPS kind of screams, I'm killing it as the DH in the AL right now, and you should vote for me. And I'm voting for him. Hunter Pence is my AL DH. So there it is, guys. Those are my picks. We got Josh Bell and Carlos Santana at first base. We got Mike Moustakas and Tommy La Stella, Nolan Arenado and Hunter Dozier, Javier Baez with Jorge Polanco. At short, we got Wilson Contreras and Gary Sanchez at catcher. In the outfield, we got Yelich, Bellinger, and Jock Peterson with Trout, Springer, and Austin Meadows on the American League. And the DH for the AL would be Hunter Pence. So that's what I got for you guys. Those are my picks. I'm gonna go ahead and submit this right now. Take one final look at it, screenshot it if you want to, but I think these are the picks I'm gonna go with, man. And once again, these are just my opinions. You guys can obviously disagree. There's gonna be dislikes on this video. Obviously, it's just the way it goes. Opinions, people disagree, they dislike. It's just YouTube. So if you want to yell at me in the comments, feel free. Let me know why I should have picked Michael Brantley over Austin Meadows, or Joey Gallo over Austin Meadows, or let me know why I should have picked Juan Soto over Jock Peterson, or whatever you want to yell at me for, go ahead and do it down in the comments. If you think I should have picked Matt Chapman over Hunter Dozier, I can take it. Dish it to me. Let's go. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I think this type of stuff is really fun. I want to do more stuff kind of like this, where it's not always just MLB The Show content. I want to mix it up a little bit, so something like this is fun for me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.